Thank you so much for joining us today, Thomas, on the background story. And for the viewers, Thomas here is our Portuguese translator. He translated the Buroheroes website from English to Portuguese, making our website wonderfully accessible to so many people that speak Portuguese. Thank you so much, Thomas, for joining us. And how is your day going?
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. I've been great. Thank you so much. Excited to be here talking to you. It's been a while since we last talked, right?
Nice. How was your weekend?
Perfect. A lot of studying, working, the usual, still trying to enjoy some free time that I might have, you know. Here in Madrid,
Perfect,
it's
perfect.
very good weather, so cannot complain about anything, to be honest.
We'll loop back to Madrid in a bit, but please, Thomas, could you tell a bit about yourself and your background?
Of course, for those watching, my name is Thomas. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Portugal, Porto, from the north, the second biggest city in Portugal, which I'm very proud of. And I did a French school when I was in Portugal, since I was 3 years old until I was 18. So pretty much my whole teenage years were also in French, and that got me really interested in the language world. So then when I was 18, I decided to move to the Netherlands, to Amsterdam, to pursue my studies. It was a bit of an impulse decision, I can say, at the time. I was just not content of being in Portugal anymore. I knew everybody, I knew every place. I was always wanted this to pursue this conquest of self. There's more out there than I know, than obviously. So yeah, I decided that I wanted to move away. I moved by myself to Amsterdam, where I've been living for the past 3 years, pursuing my bachelor in business right now. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. You said that at the age of 18, you moved to the Netherlands to further develop your career and your education. But now you said you were living in Madrid. Could you please
Oh yeah.
expand upon that?
In the third year of my studies, I had the option to do an Erasmus program, and since I had never been to Madrid, I know it's a bit weird not ever having been to Madrid, since it's so close to my city, just 5 hour drive from my city. So I decided to move here for just 1 semester to I'm not gonna say to explore the culture, because the culture is very similar to my own. I would say just to leave commodisms of being in Amsterdam, where I was already too comfortable, had a job and my friends and everything. So I decided to once more throw myself into the unknown, see what happens, and yeah, best decision I ever made as well.
Wow, that's amazing. So, aside from going to Madrid, have you gone other places for your education purposes?
For education purposes, other than Amsterdam, I've been to the Czech Republic for a week, doing like a little small project. Like it was through the university. It was more like a charity project that I went to do with a couple of friends there. But other than that, not yet. But in the future, when I finish my studies next year, hopefully I will be somewhere else. Not in Amsterdam, not in Madrid. Hopefully, maybe London, maybe in France would be good.
Wow,
Who knows?
wonderful.
Who knows? Who knows?
As the people can see, our Thomas is very charismatic. He's very outgoing. Could you tell us, where does the sense of adventure come from?
To be honest, like I had never thought about it until I moved to Madrid. Because when I moved to Madrid, it was that sense of like, okay, I'm too comfortable in Amsterdam. Like, I really need to move. And I think it came from my high school years, when I was starting to think what I wanted to study, and I started to investigate all these crazy places I never been. I wanted to go, and since I knew how to speak French and Spanish and English and Portuguese, there was like many places that I could go what I would feel like really comfortable. So I thought, why am I going to stay in this small city of merely 200,000 people, Porto, when there is a whole world out there? And that's when I gained my interest in traveling, discovering especially new languages. I really love languages, because I don't think you travel to see places, rather to know cultures. Even if it's sometimes not so much so different as your own. For example, as it is Spanish culture and Portuguese for me. Like I still travel here, know the Spanish way of life, and the connections you end up making in the end are always worth the all the bad things.
Well, you have this innate sense of adventure, and you're very charismatic. I'm guessing that throughout your entire like career so far, you've tried many different projects. Could you please tell us about some of the projects you've done?
During my studies, you mean?
Yes.
Many things. Also, my university is also quite practical, and they push us a lot to put into practice whatever we learn. But some projects I did in my first year of university, I started a sunglasses company with some friends for a university project, which turned out to be extremely fun. Eventually I ended up letting go of that project to start another one with some other friends that I'm still doing today, which is some an events organization based in Amsterdam for university students, where we make events, parties, whatever, for exclusively for students.
Wow, amazing. So you know all of these languages, but what made you move to the Netherlands, specifically to Amsterdam, to pursue your studies there?
It was a bit of a last minute decision, to be honest. At first, in the French system where I did my high school years, they really push you to go to France in the end. Like when you are making your choices, they don't push you to go, but they push you to apply at least. And I would say 80% of the people end up going. So for me, it was pretty common to have this openness to go international. Even my two older brothers also pursued this path. They went both to France. And when I was going making my choices, at first I thought I was going to France as well, but I ended up making some terrible decisions, and I thought I was going, yeah, really, really terrible decisions, and I thought I was going to have to stay in Portugal in the end. But I was just not happy with that. Even though I was going to Lisbon at first, I ended up getting into like one of the best European universities in Europe, and my mother was very sad when I had to break the news to her that in the end I was going to Amsterdam, to a place I had never been. I had never known anybody there, never even considered going there, and within 2 weeks I was living there. You know, 2 3 weeks I was living there, pretty much.
That's amazing. I'm considering, like, I'm wondering how many languages do you speak entirely? Because you're living in Amsterdam as for the last 3 years. Did you start learning Dutch, or could you please tell us your whole
Yeah,
roster of your languages?
of course. Even though I really like languages, Dutch is one of those that I didn't even bother trying for a couple of reasons. First of all, when I got to Amsterdam, I did go to one class of Amsterdam, which I ended up leaving halfway through when I realized it made no sense for me to be there, because not a lot of people speak Dutch. And everybody speaks absolutely perfect English in the Netherlands. In my 3 years, I think might have met 3 or 4 individuals who did not speak English, but that's it. It's easy to get a job if you speak English. You can work your way around just fine if you speak English. Sometimes you have a little some issues of communication, whatever, but everything is eventually sorted. The only benefit that I would see to learn Dutch is that they pay you more if you work in a company and you know how to speak Dutch. But for me, like I don't think I would ever be able to speak Dutch. I will never have the vocabulary I would like to use. I will never be able to say that I do speak Dutch. I could say maybe, yeah, after 10 years of studying I could say that I understand it, but I don't think I would ever be able to say that I really know the language, because for me to know the language, like I need to be able to express myself with the words that I actually want to use, and put out my ideas out there as clearly as possible. And with Dutch, I don't see that happening. So
Mm,
that's the reason
mm.
I decided not to do Dutch. But I've had studied French since I am 3 years old. Uh, when I left high school at 18, I feel like I kind of lost it quite quickly, because most sorry, language is like a muscle. If you don't practice it, you will lose it, you know. So French, I lost it quite quickly, and then I started practicing again, talking to more people, and now I got it back. And Spanish as well, very similar to Portuguese. I've had a couple of classes in high school, nothing too serious, but I have learned most of it through actually practicing, because the best way is without a doubt to practice. I can go on any platform, have courses and whatever. The theory doesn't really do the justice, you know. Like I would rather come to Spain and try to have conversations with everybody, making a million mistakes per sentence, but at least I will learn it, you know? So Spanish was quite easy as well. Portuguese, obviously, and English. It's a must. English it was the easiest one to learn, I think, and it's a must. And it's a must, and it's so easy to learn as well. I know
Hmm.
many people, for example, here in Madrid. My closest friend group are mostly Italians, and I always tell them like, how do you not speak English? And they're like, oh, we never learn it and whatever. And I always ask them, do you watch movies? And they always, yes, we watch movies. What language do you watch the movies in? Oh, I watch the movies in Italian with Italian captions.
Wow.
I swear, for anybody that doesn't speak English, if you watch movies in English with English captions, you will know English in a year or 2 years. 100% is impossible.
That's very true, very true.
All the movies, all the series everybody watches are made in the United States or in English, so it's impossible not to learn English in 1 2 years just by doing something that you would normally probably do, which is watching movies and series, and
That's
even
true.
songs. Into songs in English and look at the lyrics sometimes, see what they mean. You know,
True. And in a culture of binge watching a series, I think picking up a new language through our favorite documentaries or our TV series has become very accessible.
exactly, exactly. You just because it's very common for people that don't understand a language to translate it to another one, which to their own language, which I
Hmm.
think makes absolutely no sense. First of all, you're ruining the watching experience, right? And second of all, you are not learning much. For example, now I am learning Italian, and I've been watching a lot of series and movies, everything in Italian with Italian subtitles. And funny enough, I went to Milan a couple of weeks ago. Exactly the first time I went, I spoke to you. I was in the Milan airport. I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
And during that trip, after I watched many series and whatever movies, I was able to have conversations in Italian with okay, a lot of mistakes, but I was finding myself having hour-long conversations just in Italian. Okay, some words that I really, really cannot say, I will translate it to English. But other than that, it was quite clear communication, actually. And now I
Very
just wanted
true.
to deepen my knowledge in the language.
It might be a funny story, but the first time that I was talking with Thomas here is that we were having a minor interview process where we had like a minor translation assessment project as well. And in the assessment project, we had a short English passage where we asked Thomas to translate it for us in Portuguese in real time with screen share here and there. And when we first connected, you had your headphones on and your angle was from like the chin down below. And you were like almost whispering, like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I'm in the airport right now. I just landed
Yeah,
in Milan. And I'm like, you're in Milan? I'm like, yeah, like I'm coming here to visit. This is my first time. I'm very excited. And you sat on the bench or a seat inside the airport, did the assessment, and you went on your way.
exactly. Yes, I did. Outside the plane, I just got off the plane. First call was to you, and yeah,
And look at us now
that's now
having another
exactly.
interview session. It's like the website has been translated. It's going all good.
I'm happy.
Wow, that's amazing. So you've been through all these different places. I bet that each different country has a different bureaucratic system, I'm guessing. So once you moved over there and you were staying for a prolonged period, did you find it complex or how did you navigate the bureaucratic system?
At first, yeah, at first it was quite difficult because as soon as I came, I set up myself as an entrepreneur. You have to register yourself in the municipality in the Netherlands, depending on the city you are in. You have to register yourself, and once you are registered, then you then comes the things that all the grown-ups have to do and they never teach you in school, which is doing your taxes, paying your water tax, paying this, paying that, insurances, whatever. So at first it was quite challenging. I remember as soon as I came and I started to work there, I got a couple of fines for not paying my taxes on time and for not declaring my taxes because I didn't know I had to. You
Hmm.
know, all the mail they send you, all the emails they send you as well. Everything is in Dutch, so
Mm.
there is tools to translate it and whatever, very rough translations.
Hmm.
But in the end, I think it was a bit challenging at first, but then I was used to it. Then I kind of
Hmm.
got used to it, and from there, it's been going fine. Even though I think governments they make it quite complex for you to, for example, if I want to appeal to a tax that I have received, I have to go to a very extensive process of sending letters and copies and emails. I think they make it as complex as they possibly can, so eventually people give up and do not pursue it.
True. I can say the same. It's the same system, but more complex here in here in Hungary. So all of the documents they send out, all the notifications, the emails from the immigration office, from the municipality, they're all in Hungarian. But the thing is that if you go to the immigration office here, or if you go to a Hungarian post office, for example, very few people over there speak English. So
Mm.
I have to, every single time, if I'm trying to ask a simple question like, oh, where can I buy stamps? Or like, is this the right location to receive my parcel? I always have to like pluck out my like my phone, do some Google translation. So it becomes a little bit cumbersome. When you were initially going through that process, did you have friends to assist you? How did you get to the point where you were like okay with this process?
Yeah, most of the time it was just asking other people who were in the same process as me if they had managed to figure it out, and most of the times we would help each other. If not, I was lucky enough to make a bunch of Dutch friends that I would keep sending them letters to and asking for help on translating what does belastingdienst mean, like all these things, these intricacies. It was quite funny process in the beginning. Now I think I'm quite comfortable with it. I understand most of the things that they send me without having to translate them. But most of the times I it's doable now. Most of the times I simply now every time I have a process, instead of trying to figure it out, I just call them. Listen, do you speak English? Okay, and then we figure it out. It's easier. No problem. Exactly.
When you first arrived, what is like your highlight or one of the memories you can just think back instantly when you said when you were struggling to work out how the bureaucratic system was working, or some of like what is the most memorable memory of you moving to the Netherlands?
I think it's regarding the bureaucracies. I think it was when I had to go to Rotterdam. I had to take because I had to register myself as a entrepreneur, right? I had to register a company in my name. So I had to take a bus, and that day, that I had to register myself in Rotterdam, there was like a strike from the public transports or something like that, and I had to take like a 3 or 4 hour bus, not one, like many buses that took me like 3 or 4 hours to go to Rotterdam to get myself registered in the municipality, not the municipality, sorry, in the Chamber of Commerce. And finally, once I got it, I remember being outside and calling my partner and being all happy that I was in Rotterdam for the first time, and I managed to figure out all the documents they needed me to do, and I was finally registered. For me, that was a big high, especially considering we were very excited to start this new project as well. So it was very good times.
It's perfect. That's amazing. I remember I wanted to ask these questions and these kind of stories from from people because it's such a exhilarating moment. Even though you messed up so many times, it's at the end of the day, it's a very like accomplished, a positive emotion. Because I remember the first time that I went to London, I got lost for 7 hours.
Hours. For 7 hours.
For 7 hours.
How
So
come?
I landed in Heathrow Airport, and because here, not that many, if I go to someone and ask for directions, sometimes they would know English, sometimes they wouldn't know English. So I thought like I had this sense of content or like, okay, I'm home. At least I can go and ask for directions from anyone here because everyone speaks English here. So I first landed in London and I thought there was this voice in my mind saying that, okay, let me see how far I can go and if I can actually go to my destination without asking for any directions. Lo and behold, 7 hours later, I almost arrived to my uncle's place around, oh my God, 9 p.m. ish. It was horrible. I wouldn't recommend that. Ask for help.
7 hours, yeah, 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 I'll probably ask for help. Yeah, bring a map or something,
Exactly.
know.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Okay, you have all these wonderful entrepreneurial experiences, the sense of adventure. What made you consider, or what made you convinced or inspired in helping Buddha help?
I think it was mainly my language skills were quite facilitated it quite a bit, the decision, because I thought I could be of a great contribution. And also the project itself, it also quite inspired me, the fact that all the help is for free, and for people, made for people perhaps who have more difficulties and didn't have the same opportunities as I had to have learned all these languages. Thank because I was in a private school in Portugal, and then I was able to have the financial opportunities to move to the Netherlands, and perhaps some people just didn't have these same opportunities. So I thought it would be I would put my languages to good use and help people who were perhaps less fortunate than me. Yeah, and so far it's been working out good. I hope. I haven't seen the results yet, but I think I hope it's been going good.
Been going great. Thank you so much. The website is always expanding. We have multiple languages now, and we've recently published Ukrainian, um, Russian. Of course, we have Arabic, and we're on the processes of translating to Somalian and Turkish and all of the other languages that everyone needs to know, or every person that is migrating or settling down into a new location, they can have our website be accessible to them at all times. And we want to greatly thank you for your contribution in translating our website into Portuguese.
Thank you. No problem. It was my
Uh,
pleasure.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Do you have any final remarks to the viewers?
Um, I just want to say, if you have the opportunity to go out there and experience more than what you already know, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's a tough learning process, in the end, it's always going to be worth it. You'll come out a new person. Yeah, that's my message. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And could you please tell the listeners and the viewers where they can contact you?
If you wish to contact me, you can find me on LinkedIn. Tomás Carvalho is my name, or send me an email as well. You'll find my email in my LinkedIn as well.
Perfect.
And
And I'll
my
also attach your
and my
contact information in the descriptions.
okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Thomas. Hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for your contribution. And thank you so much for sharing your wonderful story and giving the listeners a very well needed journey into your adventurous life.
Thank you so much, Charlie. I will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.